Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic host of Bachelor Nation News, and we've got Dale dishing. He said, love my alliteration here. Dale dishes the dirt and says, how about his dead relationship? Sometimes you don't have any control with regards to what goes down on the show. We'll discuss that a little bit. And then also I've got a clip from the Clickbait podcast. They did a mashup with Talking It Out podcast, one of which I don't think anybody ever asked for. I think it was their way of saying, we don't have content. We don't have content. Let's just go together and make content. So we'll have a clip from them as well. And then Michelle Young and Becca Kufrin and what they think of Rachel and Gabby's night one. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. I'm also on Patreon at patreon.com/Dave Neal. A lot of people don't know what Patreon is. It's just a membership community where I do more YouTube videos. They're just YouTube videos and other private text messages that I'll send out and tea. I shared a little bit of tea yesterday regarding Katie Thurston and why she may have blocked Nick Viall. I gave you guys some clues. If you join the Patreon and you can't find that tea because we make so much content, let me know and I'll nudge you in the right direction. We like to share a little bit of extra content over there. So yeah, this is kind of how it goes. I do a large screen share and I'll just like talk about random things. Yesterday we did 4.5 hours of live stream. The first video was 3 hours long. So if you just like white noise in the background, I'm White Noise Dave. But by the way, my hair has gotten back to good shape 4 days after getting back from the Bahamas. As you guys know, I was dealt a tragic blow as the security in Cancun, which is the first stop of our leg of Caribbean travel, took away my Belizean hair products that I had bought last year, which was giving me this fire flow. So I've had to concoct a little bit of a Moroccan oil, castor oil blend here, but nice to report we are back in business. So yeah, I make a bunch of content like this on the Patreon. I just behind the scenes shots. Here's me using my new drone I just bought. It shoots vertical 4K video of Tasha just hanging out. I thought I saw a stingray. Jana, good to see you. I'm doing great.
This is me
got a show tonight. I'm excited to go to that. She said this was hard to shoot. She said this hurt her neck. I kind of made her hang out there.
This was in
obviously
Nassau.
This is not exactly, this is raw footage of it, but
look at that shot.
I shot this by hand, as in. So I thought this was a stingray. By the way, we hated our hotel.
Doesn't that look great?
And
anyway, if you want to catch all the behind the scenes action, I posted it. Here's some other videos we shot here with the drone. That's me and my fiance
sort of subject
walking on their trip here. Yeah, it was kind of fun.
This drone, you hit one button.
There's another one, some photos. We did some beach stuff over here
without its flotation part.
And then some, this is where we stayed in Cancun. Isn't that beautiful? Anyway, that's behind the scenes access. You might be going, oh my gosh, is Dave really showing us videos of his vacation? Well, yes, I am. Isn't that the worst when a friend's like, hey, look where I went to? But if you like what I've got going on outside of The Bachelor, or you want to see the behind the scenes of how I make Bachelor videos, you know what? Let's do this. I'll show you guys. Usually I make them right towards the end. So check this out. This is me seconds before making videos.
Hang out with you while you do work. I'd be like, what are you talking about?
So hold on a second.
A little bit.
Hold on. This is me right before we go live. Oh, drinking my water.
I'll be honest. Eat the freaking did you?
Here it is. Ready? Very exciting stuff.
Dookie dookie.
All right, here it is.
Tell you what.
You guys ready to watch this?
All right, let's promote this Patreon here.
Okay. Come on. Get into it.
You guys ready to go? Everyone, take a breath with me in.
Come on, Dave.
Make sure to whisper.
Nail it.
You don't want to be loud in front of me.
You got this.
Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic host of that.
Anyway, let's go watch behind the scenes. Really interesting stuff. Okay, anyway, let's go watch. Here's Dale on the Vibe podcast.
From, I think, Gabby and Rachel's perspective, if somebody's there for both, then you're like, okay, then what stands out about me if you're not even here for me? You're here for both of us. You got to, in my mind.
So this is the thing that most people don't take into consideration, but it's everyone's journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's a misconception, and obviously with the lead, a lot of times people will view it and they'll look at it and they just assume it's just their journey to find love.
That's a great point. Yeah.
It's everybody's journey, and sometimes you don't have Your journey can stop and you don't have any control, or you have to make a decision in those moments.
Okay, he got real. He was like, sometimes your journey doesn't hold. What? Sometimes they don't let you. Blink twice if you weren't. Okay, so clearly, maybe a little projection there, but obviously he's not speaking specifically about his own journey. But with his journey, it did end 11 days into the trip.
Yeah.
It's not even it wasn't by your choice. Like, I think there's all sorts of variables that play into it.
From, I think, Gabby and Rachel's perspective, if somebody's there for both, then
so
like, okay, then what's
they're arguing that okay, so anyway, yeah, so that's what Dale says there, is that sometimes it is he says sometimes you don't have any control. Read some of the comments to see what people think he's implying. Dale, we know you didn't want to propose after knowing Claire for 11 days, LOL. So of course there isn't much to this story. Dave, this was the thumbnail of the video. What do you want me to do there? That's all there is. We're still scraping barrel when it comes to Claire and Dale. We'll be scraping that barrel till the cows come home. We could be 85 years old and be like, there's a Claire update. Okay, she's on Bachelor in Paradise 92. Okay, so anyway, here's what Clickbait and Talking It Out co-hosts discuss when they feared why they feared going home on night one. This is the Brady Bunch nobody asked for. This is the Shady Bunch. Let's go.
The only thing I was scared about,
is going home night one.
Oh my
God.
God.
That shit's embarrassing,
bro.
Like, that shit's embarrassing. You pack all this shit and you prepare to be gone from work, and then you show back up at work the next day.
Yeah, these other guys are like, we didn't have a job, so that wasn't the problem. It was the actually public shame.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, I didn't go on the show. It was a lie. Like, I was just going for the weekend. I was sick for a day.
I was so
I had
nervous.
COVID before COVID.
I was so nervous about going home night one.
By the way, wouldn't it be so annoying if you had a chiropractor appointment and you're like waiting and you're like, where's my doctor? Or doctor, I say in quotes, whatever chiropractor is. Quack physician. And then you just in the other room, you're like, is Brian Abasolo filming a podcast right now? And he comes out, cracks your neck, and goes back.
I was petrified. That was the only thing I cared about. I was like, just whatever you do, don't go home night one. Just don't go home night one. And then I was like, fuck, I'm going home night one.
Going home night one was the best thing to ever happen to Grocery Store Joe, because there was this mystique about him. It's almost like if you tell a funny joke and then walk away, everyone's like, oh, that guy's really funny. But if you tell a funny joke and then tell 3 more shit jokes, everyone's like, well, he's not that funny. So with Grocery Store Joe, everyone was like, we liked him. Why'd you get rid of him so soon? Whereas if he lasted 4 episodes, people would be like, oh, yeah, he was kind of just some Midwestern, tomato sauce making, Italian. No big deal. And by the way, I like Grocery Store Joe for the most part. He's a company man, so he doesn't really offer too much of an actual opinion on these podcasts. But that's what you get paid for. They get paid to not bite the hand that feeds and promote whatever agenda the show is promoting. This is North Korean TV. That's what this is. And you got to be okay with it. If I were in Joe's position making 6 figures to do a podcast and my only job was to not get fired by, ruffling feathers, I would probably be the same thing. I'd be like, isn't the show fantastic? Who needs body diversity? It's a bunch of whites trying to, you know what I mean? And that's what, not to say that that's what the show wants them to say, but we know who their target market is. I'm specifically saying I wouldn't do that. Okay. Don't take my words out of context. I've had enough arguments on Reddit this week.
So what was it like though when you became a cult phenomenon, that you had a hashtag Grocery Store Joe and all that? How did that feeling get to you?
He had a hashtag. What did he say? Listen,
so what was it like though when you became a cult phenomenon, that you had a hashtag Grocery Store Joe and all that? How did that feeling get to you?
First night, Joe.
It was nice, and it was obviously a good feeling, but I try not to put too much thought into it, because I feel like if you put too much thought into all the good, then you gotta take the bad. So I try just not to pay attention.
It's so funny because if you do remember watching his season, he was an afterthought. I mean, he was a night one player. This would be like if Roby from this, night one, the magician, became one of the biggest voices in all of Bachelor. You'd be like, how the hell did that happen? Well, it's magic.
That's advice for all the new cast members right there.
Yeah. I think it's easier said than done.
Tell me more, Natasha.
I've definitely fallen for it. And I've read the great comments and I've read the shitty ones. And I just noticed that, 100 good comments, 1 bad comment could take it all away, and that's an issue. So
more than 100 good comments to one bad comment.
Yeah, there were guys crying on my season, like in their ITM. The sun was already up. Day one.
Like
yeah, it was
night
sad.
one?
Yeah,
Bro,
they bought
see,
they spent
they
spent like 10 grand on suits.
I mean, are we gonna? Here's the deal, right? And this is it. I'm not one of those. I'm not a men's rights activist. Okay, statistically speaking, men and women, everyone's different, right? 8 billion of us, we're all different. But we do lump people into different genders. That's what people do. Men are this way, women are that way. You might not like it, but it's very common in comedy. It's very common. But we're all different, right? We're all different. But no one's really shaming a woman for like crying maybe night one. There's a lot of projection that happens there. They've been up for like 30 hours straight. They spent a week trying to shed their weight. They're probably bummed that they got humiliated. Let them cry in their limo. I don't know. Who knows how you would act? It's very tough to share your emotions in a vulnerable state like that. All right. I'm just saying, if I were on the show, I'd be crying night one. I actually have a joke about that, anyway. All right, so that's the end of that one. Riveting clip there. And by the way, how many views does that have? Oh wow, 1,000 views. Wow, really crushing it. By the way, someone I'm not jaded at all, but someone was making fun of me on Reddit and said, "Oh yeah, he's got such an unprofessional setup." Mind you, I record independently with no producers selling ads for me, no interns providing me scripts or associate producers. It's me, baby. It's me. And you've got here the biggest dating show in the world, okay, owned by ABC, which is run by Disney. And they've got, I guess they're all wearing headphones. So although mine are $200. These headphones are more expensive than theirs. And then none of them have a microphone as nice as mine. And it's all cut together on some Zoom with really bad audio. And people are like, oh yeah, this Dave Neal has a poor setup. And I'm like, poor setup? You realize I edit this on the fly. I've got a button here that hits the thing on the fly. You see what I'm doing there? Poor setup. This is what the gosh darn United States was made of. Okay, anyway. Oh boy, this is a good one. I like this one. Maybe this one's for me, not for you. This is more like therapy.
Your thoughts? This is the first time I think ever in Bachelor
Michelle's back. Is this her first time back since the breakup?
Nation history that a night one rose ceremony was canceled. What did you think about that?
Honestly, if you were like a loyal Bachelor watcher, you're gonna know that through the season there's gonna be at least like 1 or 2 rose ceremonies canceled. I don't think anyone expected it on the first night, but I actually really respect that, just because you do not get to talk to everybody, and that's like when you are going through this yourself.
But here's the deal, right? There's only 21 days of filming, whatever it is. They're just kicking the can down the road. What they should do, and you hate to say this, and leave a comment, but a lot of people on your first impressions, it's physical. Am I attracted to this person physically? Now here's the deal. Gabby might be attracted to John F, and Rachel might not be attracted to John F. Rachel might be attracted to John G, and Gabby might not be. So they have, by them coming to a consensus, statistically, it kind of makes sense that out of 32 guys, there's only 3 of them that they were both like, no on that. But it really does. It's like mind, body, soul. So attraction comes in mind, body, and soul. Now, if someone's attractive physically, and then you end up not liking their soul, you're like, that's a mean person, they become far less attractive. There's been people in the news recently in our Bachelor communities that are very attractive people, speaking on, physically, that I personally find super unattractive because of the way they talk. Actually, someone that was, you can read between the lines, someone that was a favorite of mine last year, then had a moment where they treated another person in a way that was disgusting in my eyes. And after that, I was like, I'm no longer attracted to that person. Whereas at first I was attracted. So point being is you got to go off of like attraction, not just physically, but through conversation and this and that. Night one, and they didn't get that time, which is why I think what they should have done was had Gabby and Rachel just speed date the guys right at a time. Just immediately meet all of them. Meet all of them. Give them each 2 minutes. That could take up 1 hour of your time. 2-minute drill. Boop, 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 boop. Bum, 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 bum. Yay, nay. And if you can get 8 nays out of there, then you got a rose ceremony. But who am I?
So imagine having 2 bachelorettes and like trying to talk to both of them, just like the amount of time and everything and that takes place. So I totally understand
Tinder.
not wanting.
Yeah, they should have just made like a Tinder. Like that episode should have been sponsored by Tinder. The guys show up and they have giant foam hands and they go no or yes. And if one goes no and one goes yes, it's like you're in purgatory, baby.
To like really send a large portion of the men home, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I applaud them on that.
Yeah.
By the way, they gave Michelle a pop filter, so they're really crushing, Disney over here, creator of Star Wars and whatever other stupid shows. They gave her this nice $2, maybe $3, maybe they got it on Amazon Prime Day, pop filter. Now this is called a pop filter. You'll see this once in a while because it's to prevent plosive sounds. Plosive sounds are pippity pop pop tickety too too. Now you can't hear. I've got this nice foam filter on mine, so you can't really hear pop sounds. But a lesser quality microphone needs one of those to prevent the P's from peaking.
3 Men Outside. What did you think about that?
Nobody cared.
Honestly, I actually kind of appreciated that. I thought it was a kinder way to send them home where they didn't have to stand in front of the remaining 29 men. I mean, I'm sure to them they weren't expecting it and it probably was a bummer to them. But realistically, like it was.
Is pulling the guys aside, Roby the magician, brother of Sobi Soblieski, whatever her name is, and then the two twins. Is it better to pull them aside or to just do the full rose ceremony? Because it could go either way. I know they mean well, and that's all that matters. Now, the problem with a Roby, that stinks, because the twins, they can be like, all right, I guess they weren't into twins. No big deal. Roby doesn't have it. Roby's like, I guess they weren't into twins and me and magic.
Was faster. Mm-hmm. It was already light outside, so they were probably freaking exhausted. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't mind the fact that they removed those men and took them away and had a separate conversation. I felt like they actually gave them enough time to explain why they were making that decision. The rose ceremony being canceled. Listen, I'm all about canceling rose ceremonies, but I will say
she's like I like canceling rose ceremonies, canceling Ari, whatever you want to cancel.
Going into this
cancel his PPP loans, make him pay back at a high interest rate because he bought a house in Hawaii.
The night one, like
oh, Dave, you only make fun of Tasha's PPP loan. No, PPP is a plosive sound. No, I make fun of Ari too. Come on, I'm equal opportunity. Make fun of people that rob from the taxpayers' dollars. Oh, but she didn't. Yeah, can it?
That first rose ceremony is pretty special, and so I feel like a part of that was kind of taken away from the men. Like it's kind of like a rite of passage, and so I kind of wish the first one wasn't canceled. All the other ones, like, go ahead.
Well, it looks like the podcast over here is barrel scraping as well, because this is not real entertainment. But we'll make the best of it, folks. All right, this was your video. I got a lot more coming your way. We'll be live at 10 a.m. Pacific time today on the Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, everybody.